From wearing the crown to losing the kingdom. The rise and fall of a brand built too fast. Years ago, one of the hottest homegrown brands in the region was expanding rapidly, both locally and globally. They were across the Gulf. They had locations in Europe. They were entering North America. At their peak, they had around 50 operating stores. At the same time, they had signed franchise development agreements for more than 1,000 additional locations around the world, including 200 planned for the UK alone. This wasn't a small regional concept anymore. They were chasing global domination. They had taken a very simple local street food concept, something many of us in this region grew up with, and turned it into an international brand. I loved seeing a homegrown brand from this region make that kind of noise internationally. I was rooting for them. We needed homegrown brands from this region to go global, and these guys looked like they were doing exactly that. But watching from the outside, something caught my attention. They were moving too fast. I met the founder at an event, and later we sat down over coffee. I congratulated him on how far they'd come. Then I shared one concern. You're building something incredible, but you're signing franchisees faster than your system can support them, and sooner or later, that's going to catch up with you. He looked at me almost like I was crazy, and I understood why. They were on top of the world. Agreements coming in, media everywhere, new markets. Everybody wanted to be part of the story. From the outside, they looked unstoppable. But on the ground, a very different picture was starting to emerge. I had visited one of their locations in Jordan, major shopping mall, prime location. But the place was almost empty while the food court around it was busy. I started talking to the operator, and eventually he opened up about one thing: lack of support. He felt they weren't getting what they had been promised. Later, I heard something similar from another franchisee, then another. 3 different operators, different locations, same complaint. And that's when I thought, this isn't one unhappy franchisee anymore. This is becoming a pattern. Meanwhile, the brand owners kept pushing. They kept expanding globally. More announcements, more countries, more franchise agreements, more flags on the map, more headlines. And that's the danger with rapid expansion. When everyone is celebrating the next deal, nobody is paying enough attention to the franchisees already inside the system. Until one day, the problems can no longer be ignored. The cracks became harder to hide. Stores started closing, markets disappeared, and the brand that once looked like it was wearing the crown eventually lost the kingdom. Where are they today? The global brand they were building is gone. The network, the momentum, the international expansion story, gone. Think about that. They went from being one of the most talked about franchise brands in the region to virtually disappearing from the map. How does a rise like that turn into a fall? And I'm not going to pretend that one issue alone destroyed that brand. But that experience reinforced something I've believed throughout my career. Speed is not a strategy. Signing another country means nothing if the franchisees you already have are being left behind. Because every franchise agreement isn't just another flag on a map. It's another promise you have to keep. Grow as fast as your system can support, not as fast as your ego wants to celebrate. Because when expansion outruns support, you can go from the brand everyone is talking about to the brand nobody can find. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.